Joy, Peter Gabriel. Hope you're on yours. Scott Mills is on his way after the news. Then it's Sarah at 4 and Joe Wiley at 7 and The Blues Show with Keris Matthews at 9 and Trevor Nelson's brilliant Rhythm Nation at 10 and then Phil Williams in for OJ at midnight. And meanwhile, we're all going to look right around our houses for the precious thing we've overlooked.
This is BBC Radio 2.
On BBC Sounds.
And on your smart speaker.
Play BBC Radio 2.
BBC News at 2 o'clock. This is Mike Powell. Rishi Sunak says an expansion of oil and gas drilling in the North Sea is entirely consistent with the UK's net zero commitments. Hundreds of new licences are being granted, but ministers say they'll also spend millions of pounds supporting 2 carbon capture schemes in Aberdeenshire and the Humber. Mark Ruskell, an MSP for the Scottish Greens, thinks the UK government should be focusing on renewable energy.
The focus on continuing to expand and drill for North Sea oil and gas is against the science of climate change. The United Nations, the International Energy Agency have all said that we need to keep the majority of our oil and gas reserves in the ground. And unfortunately, carbon capture and storage, although it has a role to play, is largely a distraction.
A British man has been released from custody in Cyprus after killing his seriously ill wife in an assisted suicide at their home on the island in 2021. David Hunter, who's 76, was convicted last week of the manslaughter of 74-year-old Janice, but was released this morning because of the time he had already spent in jail. Teachers in England, who are members of the National Education Union, have accepted a 6.5% pay rise from September. The NEU is the second of 4 unions to vote to end industrial action. Its Joint General Secretary, Dr Mary Boosted, says the deal is acceptable, but still doesn't restore teacher pay to its full value when the Conservatives came to power in 2010.
It's the best offer that the government was going to give us, and it was an offer that we considered the government would not move from, even if we engaged in significantly more strike action. Members didn't want to do that, and we don't want to do that to pupils. But our long-term ambitions for teacher pay continue.
Rescuers are digging through the rubble in southern Ukraine after Russian missiles hit 2 buildings, killing 4 people, including a child. More than 50 others were injured when a 9-storey residential block and a nearby college were hit. The new chairman of a housing association implicated in the death of a toddler who was exposed to mould has insisted it won't repeat past mistakes. Awab Ishak, who was 2, died from a respiratory condition caused by mould at his home in Greater Manchester 3 years ago. His father made repeated complaints to Rochdale Borough-wide Housing, but they were ignored, and an investigation found it had been dismissive and unsympathetic. Kevin Brady, who now leads the board of directors, says sweeping changes have since been made.
We've built those lessons learnt into our recovery plan. It will be built into the DNA of the organisation going forward. I'd expect to see over time that we see a significant shift in the cultural behaviours of the organisation, and we'll be able to test that as well.
It's reported plans to start moving asylum seekers onto a barge in Dorset are facing more setbacks because of fire safety concerns. The Home Office had been planning to send the first 50 people to the vessel tomorrow, but according to the Times, the local fire brigade hasn't signed off on the move. BBC News, it's 3 minutes past 2.
Mike, thank you. Hello, it's Monday Show.
Hi Scott, I'm Joanne and I'm on a cruise. We set sail from just by your bins in Southampton and now we're in La Coruna.
Hi Joanne, happy cruising. Enjoy La Coruna, famous for its medieval old town and Roman lighthouse.
It's Monday, it's 2 o'clock and it's time for Scott Mills on Radio 2.